What's up guys, Cretan here from LogicLounge.com. Now that Apple has announced both the iPhone 5C and the iPhone 5S, the big question is, which one should you get? Well, we're going to outline all the details right now. Now anyone can sit here and read you off a spec sheet, which I happen to have right here, but we're also going to talk about the major advantages and disadvantages in each area that the phone is great at and the phone may not be so great at. And we'll talk about that and help you make a more well-rounded decision on which phone you think you should get. So let's start off by reading these specs. We're going to go through a short spec list to highlight the major differences between the two. So here we go. They both come with iOS 7, so it doesn't matter which one you get. They're both coming with iOS 7. They both have the same displays, which are 4-inch IPS LCD displays running at 1136 by 640 with 326 pixels per inch. So they're very high quality displays. Both of them, you won't see a display difference between the 5C and the 5S. Now the prices are as follows for the iPhone 5S. $199, $299, and $399, and that is for the 16, 32, and 64 gigabyte models respectively. Now, what's not so typical about these prices are that this is the 2-year model price. So if you usually sign up for a new contract within the United States, they'll give you this price if you sign a 2-year contract. So keep that in mind when I'm reading off also these prices for the 5C, which are $99 and $199. They only have a 16 and a 32 gigabyte version. So if you want more storage, the iPhone 5S will give you more of an option there with a 64 gigabyte model. Now the iPhone 5C is also available off contract for $549. I believe it's $649 if you want to get the 5S off contract. Carrier compatibility is pretty much the same for both models. They both work on AT&T, Sprint, T-Mobile, and Verizon here in the US, although the 5C has a global mode or global band, so if you want to take it around the world, it will work much better in more markets than the 5S will. So there's your first kind of better thing that the 5C might be good at. They both have 4G LTE speed, so you're good there, but the camera is vastly different. The iPhone 5S has an 8 megapixel camera with 1080p front-facing dual element flash. So it's got an 8 megapixel camera, and it has dual element flashes. And we talked a little bit about that in a previous video where there's two colors of flashes. There's more a cool color of flash, and there's more a warm color of flash to help the picture look more natural when it does take the photo. The 5C does not do that, and it only has a 720p camera, so you're losing out a bit there if you don't want 1080p video. Processor-wise, the iPhone 5S has a A7 CPU. It's a 64-bit CPU as well, so it allows it to take more control of the CPU for applications, whereas the 5C only uses the A6 CPU, which is used nowadays in most Apple mobile products, and it is only 32-bit as well, so you're not getting that extra advantage of a 64-bit processor. Like I talked about, the sizes for the 5S are 16, 32, and 64 gigabytes, whereas only on the 5C you only have options for 16 and 32 gigabyte models. Battery life, though, for the same is about 10 hours apiece, so they're good there. None of them have NFC technology, so if you do want an NFC phone, Apple is not the place to get one. A fingerprint scanner, the iPhone 5S does have it, but the iPhone 5C does not have it. We also talk about the dedicated fitness tracking, that M7 chip. Well, the iPhone 5S has that, but the iPhone 5C does not. So if you are a person who uses their phone for fitness and working out, well, the 5C isn't going to be the phone that you want to get. The iPhone 5S weighs 3.95 ounces, so it is a little bit lighter than the 5C, which comes in at 4.65 ounces. So the iPhone 5C is just a teeny bit heavier than the 5C. The color options for each of them are as follows. For the 5S, you have gray, gold, and silver. I know the gray has some sort of funky name like sky or space gray or something like that, but I don't care. It's gray. There's only a gray. But for the 5C, you have a plethora of color options: blue, green, pink, yellow, and white. So you have all of those different options. And that basically does it right now for those specs. So let's move on into those questions that I had mentioned earlier in this video. Is the $100 price difference between the iPhone 5C and the iPhone 5S worth it? When you look at the $99 price tag and the $199 price tag, you almost think you know that the $99 price tag is going to be better for you because I'm saving $100. I can spend $100 on something else. Well, are you really? Because those prices are what all carriers in the United States call their 2-year contract price. That is the price that you pay for the phone up front, but then they get to charge you all those wonderful fees in the future to recoup some of the prices that they do offer those phones for. So in the long run, you're going to be spending way more than $99 or even $199 when you are getting a phone on a contract. So in the end, you're not going to really save $100 by getting the cheaper phone. You're just going to be paying that extra $100 plus more, well, when you're paying your phone contract. So think about that when you are looking at both prices of the phones. All right, let's get into some more real-world stuff now with a list that I've made, picking out which iPhone is good for who. So let's get started with the iPhone 5C. Who is it good for? Well, it is good for somebody who likes a lot of color in their life. They don't like drabby blacks and whites. They want a splash of color in their life. They like to accessorize with it. You know, the iPhone 5C is going to be better for that because they do have a lot of those color combinations. And if you get the cases also with the phone, you can have dual colors and make really the phone yours and well, have a nice color combination along the way. You don't use your phone all that often. No, you use it for texting, you use it for taking pictures, you use it for calling, and maybe some light gaming. That is what the 5C is good for. It's good for those people who don't heavily use their phones. It's just something that they happen to have on them, and they don't do a lot of stuff with it. The iPhone 5C is going to be perfect for you, and you're not going to need anything beyond that. And also, if you don't need any advanced security features with the phone as well, talking mainly about that fingerprint scanner that does come with the 5S. If you don't really need it or don't think you'll need it, and you usually have your phone by your side 24/7, well, you're not going to need that added security feature anyway. So the iPhone 5C, great for people who just want a phone, who just want to do light things with it. That is what it's going to be good for. But if you're more a heavy user, then the iPhone 5S is going to be perfect for you because, well, the color of your phone doesn't matter. And a lot of people might not care about the color of their phone. So they're just like, hey, black phone, white phone, I guess gold phone now, that's fine with me, I'll take it. They're a heavy user. They check their phones multiple times an hour. I know I check my phone constantly, over and over and over again. It's always out, I'm always looking at it. So if I'm always doing stuff with my phone, if I'm always using it, I want something that's tough. I want something that's rigid. I want something that I can use on a daily basis for both business and for work. So I'm using my phone 24/7. That is who I would recommend this phone getting it for. And you also want higher security features as well. Let's say you have got tons of sensitive information on your phone. Well, that added fingerprint scanner is going to be great for you because you can, keep it locked with just your fingerprint so people don't have to, type in this code over and over again trying to crack your passcode because inevitably those things can be cracked. Unfortunately, though, fingerprint scanners are a little bit harder to crack. They're actually going to probably have to get your thumb, and it probably won't be pretty if they need to get your thumb and you don't want to give it to them. So, iPhone 5S, great for heavy users, great for people who are conscious about security, great for people who like working out, who like using their phones to work out because it does have that M7 chip. That is what the 5S is good for. If you want the 5C, you're a light user, you're somebody who doesn't care a lot about the features, you're somebody who just wants a phone, 5C is great for you. The ultimate question, which phone do you want to carry around for 2 years? Like most people in the United States, you're going to be getting a 2-year contract, and that requires you to have your phone for 2 years. So you have to think long and hard. Which phone do you want to use? You got to ask yourself that question and think about it. Really think about it. What are you going to use that phone for? What might come up that you're going to use that phone for in emergencies, for having fun, stuff like that? Just think, and then you should formulate an answer about which phone you think you should get. So I won't answer that question myself, but I will say, leave your answers in the comment section down below. Be sure to like this video and share. Also, follow us on our social media profiles, Facebook, Twitter, Google+, all under the username of Logic Lounge. Thank you guys so much for watching. I really, really do appreciate it. And be sure to check out our other videos on the iPhone 5S and 5C, as well as our first impressions, which will be coming up once the phones are released. So thank you guys so much for watching. My name is Craig Miller once again, and we'll see you guys in our next video.